So, Steve Hill, comedian and candidate for California's 27th district. How are we feeling today, Steve?
Hey, how you doing? How's it going? Glad to be here. Glad to have a conversation, have a truthful, honest, satanic conversation.
So, well, let's start with your run for office. This isn't your first time.
No, this isn't my first time. I've run before. I ran for state senate in 2016. Basically ran as a black Satanist. I think that's the first time in history that might have ever happened. But I actually wound up getting like 13% of the vote, and with very little resources, money, advertising, and all that staff. Pretty much just me and two other people, and made a lot of news.
Yeah.
Because of the you get a black guy come along and he has an atypical religion.
Mm-hmm.
And in one way it's really difficult because it makes people automatically become dismissive. Like, you're black, there's no way you could be a Satanist, it's just not in the cards for you.
Sure.
But meeting Lucian in my hometown of St. Louis at a conference, and was convinced by him, well, not by him, but a mutual friend, to join the Satanic Temple and become a Satanist, which, after I thought about it, looked at the approach they had taken to activism, which was through the courts, because I'm kind of a legal guy. That's kind of the way with me you get shit done, is legally. You got to be in the system to change it. So I kind of like the approach that the Satanic Temple had taken, and I wouldn't actually say trolling, but just giving people a different perspective on alternative ways of thinking.
Sure. Now tell me about your district. I know the
my district. My district is North Los Angeles County. It includes cities and towns like Lancaster, Palmdale, Acton, Little Rock, Saugus, Canyon Country, Newhall, Castaic, Valencia, Santa Clarita, Stevenson Ranch. I think a small part of Chatsworth, Del Sur, and then Lake Los Angeles. That's about it. It's a really, really interesting district, due to the fact we're in North Los Angeles County, and LA is like where everything in the world happens, and all of the goods and services and business and entertainment and the beach. We're in the high desert. So one part is in the high desert. One part of my district's in the high desert. The other part is in closer proximity to the city of Los Angeles. It bounds on Los Angeles, but the disparity, the disparity in the two districts is what really disturbs me, because the high desert part is the most affordable place you can purchase land or housing. And unfortunately, that's where all the black people go, and a lot of Latinos and people out of Los Angeles. They've been moving here for years because it's affordable. They have Section 8 housing, and it's just, a recipe for disaster when you throw in law enforcement. Yeah, well,
so you've had run-ins with local law enforcement.
Oh, I got arrested, and we're just now filing stuff on that, and I'm meeting with some very important people on the 30th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you have your camera on?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I got mine on too.
You got yours too, man. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Can you turn off the car for me and step outside?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Can I ask why I'm being detained?
I'll let you know right now. You're not being detained right now.
I'm not
just going to be talking to you.
Okay, that's fine.
And you have no weapons on you at all?
None at all.
Okay.
None at all.
Can you go ahead and just step right here? I just want to make sure you.
Wait. Why are you touching me?
I just want to make sure you have no
But
weapons
you don't
on
have to touch me. Use your verbal command.
Can I make sure you have no weapons on you, sir? Can you please come on?
Wait a minute. Why are you using force?
I want to make sure.
Why are you using force? You don't have to use force. You start with a verbal command.
Sir, I want to make sure you have no weapons on you, please.
You start with a verbal command.
Can you put the phone down, please, sir?
No, sir, I'm recording.
Okay, the reason I stopped you right now.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a warrant for your residence, sir? Okay.
John, put him in handcuffs.
And yeah, I was arrested the last time I tried to run for office because I spoke out on an issue that I had some foundational base of knowledge on. In the high desert here, people grow cannabis illegally.
Sure.
I know that because I'm a real estate appraiser and I've been appraising real estate for approximately 20 years. And I've seen all kind of illegal cannabis grows. But when the sheriff and certain elected officials get together and start screaming and yelling about it's the Mexican drug cartels, and I know different because I see it with my own eyes. I know who grows illegal cannabis in where I live at in North LA County. And it could be the Mexican drug cartels, but I know it's other people. And until I get my weapons back, I'm not going to say.
Well, that arrest that happened while you were on the job. You were just doing your job, right? Went to check out a property. So you could appraise it.
I've got pictures. I've got evidence. I've got for everything I tell you is true. But I went to. They had a meeting out a little bit outside the city of Palmdale. They had a meeting back, kind of like I would call it a rural area where the demographics would reflect it's about 97% white.
Mm-hmm.
And they went back there to a public meeting, more like a political event. That's what I said. You'll see the tape one day. I might have sent it to you. But I just truthfully told everybody this is a political event just used to divide everyone because it's always a certain ethnic group before the real terror comes, like the Mexican drug cartel or the China virus, or just bullshit to scare everyone and keep people divided, which I can't stand. And then I found myself arrested. That's the short story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know who it was. It was the sheriff. In my belief, it was the sheriff of Los Angeles County, county supervisor Catherine Barger, guy that I'm going to be running for office against, Mike Garcia. He was there at that meeting. Tom Lackey, assemblyman. I mean, if everything goes right, I want people held accountable for my arrests.
Sure. Well, let's talk platform then. What is it that you're running on?
My platform is right now is religious liberty. That's number one, because all of my troubles with law enforcement and the power structure was due to my license plate, which read at the time "For Satan," and that's pretty much caused all of my trouble. Just because one little rogue cop got triggered, came to my house and started asking me questions about my whereabouts. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking with my freedom right now. And it just, I tried to get an apology. It turned into a damn lawsuit. That lawsuit, I had a Black Christian attorney from first generation from Africa. They could be very religious people. He refused to fight the case on its merits, which was harassment for my religion, my license plate. And anyways, everybody knows who I am around here. So when I spoke out at that meeting, people told me even after I left that people were talking about, that's the guy with the "For Satan" license plate, So I don't know if I just tricked these people into being this stupid or are they just this stupid naturally. But somebody's getting ready to be held accountable for the shit I've been through in the last few years.
Yeah. So your district, it got redistricted and flipped Republican in this last cycle. prior to that, you had
that's a long story. You know, we used to have Simi Valley in our district. Before redistricting, Simi Valley was in our. Somehow, I don't know how it got jury ended up in there, but somehow Simi Valley was in our. Simi Valley are the same people I hold responsible for the LA riots. They're the one that let Officer Kuhn and the rest of them off with beating the shit out of Rodney King, and therefore triggered riots. But now they're no longer in our district. So our district, I do believe, has like an 8+ Democrat advantage.
So yeah. Well, there's you and there's one other Democrat running the primary too, right?
Yeah, George Whitesides.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in some kind of, used to be an executive for NASA or some shit, and you know, I hear the guy got a lot of money. I don't know, but I know one thing he did to me that kind of, I lost a little faith in him, because he put in approximately $250,000 of his own money and then start ranting and raving about he raised the record amount of money, which I find that to be disingenuous and just coming straight out lying to the people right off the bat. I'm like, dude, you lying to you. For one, he don't know shit about this district. This is my
I mean, it's pretty clear that he's the establishment candidate, and you're the
you should see how they treat the non-establishment candidate, especially when he's a black Satanist. The Democrats, and I'm waiting, and I don't know if the Satanic Temple, I'm gonna talk to my boy and see if we can get a petition started, because George Whitesides went on MSNBC. I got it on my phone, I recorded it. And now I'm like, wait a minute, I want equal time. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But someone told me, well, you know, Steve, they're just like the Democratic Party, MSNBC. It's like they're only going to support the establishment candidate. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Why wouldn't that be given the equal opportunity for free media?
I agree. Although I don't think, I can't think of a time that anybody from TST's ever been on MSNBC. Lucian's gone on Fox a few times.
Oh yeah, I know.
Been on Tucker. I've never seen Maddow invite him. You know?
Well, that's interesting. You know why?
Why?
I can tell you why. Because the base of the Democratic Party are black people, and black people are like 97%, this Pew Research Center, believe in some kind of God or deity. 3% are agnostic or black. So that's the base of the, you want to turn off viewers? Don't put no black Satanists on MSNBC. Your ratings will go down, because black people will turn that shit off. They be at home scared to death.
There's I've had that discussion a few times with just the history of the Black church and civil rights movement and how it ties together.
We gotta have a discussion. That's why you're talking about that Cat Williams shit.
Yeah, because you're a comedy guy, and I am pretty in awe of that Cat Williams interview and how it triggered Kevin Hart, and how now there's this New York, LA thing going on with black comedy. So right. I'd love to get your take on this.
I got jokes. Really, I got jokes I can't tell until I get my guns back, because I don't want to catch no beef with Death Row Records. And that's we don't even have enough time to discuss that one. But listen, if black people had a platform with somebody actually saying something, I mean, I do political humor. I don't just tell dumb jokes and use the N-word gratuitously all throughout my comedy. I don't use it at all. But if you could get black people to be interested in voting like they are in black comics, you know, having these verbal spats on social media and TV and, you know, whatever, it's like they could change everything. If we went to the voting booth like that, with that kind of intensity, that kind of interest, change the fucking country. But no, we're not interested in trying to, correct our lives from all of this systemic bullshit that we have to deal with all the time. But yeah, what Cat Williams has to say is really important. He should run for president.
No, but I mean, just in terms of the comedy world stuff, the thing that he said about Kevin Hart was that you never saw him doing sold out gigs in LA. You never saw him getting ovations, and I know you've been at those comedy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And does that check out? Did Hart just show up and all of a sudden he was there?
Man, I've been doing comedy 15 years. I ain't never seen him in a club. Seen just about everybody else. Let me give a plug. My next show is next month at the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody can make it. Friday night, D's Nuts Comedy Show. But listen, this thing, I wanted to address this too, about this thing about stealing jokes.
Uh-huh.
It looked like what Steve Harvey might have done was just blatant. What Cedric the Entertainer, my homeboy from St. Louis, looks like he stole Cat Williams shit just blatantly. You can't write shit like that on accident. But I've got a joke that I've been doing. I wrote this joke in the 80s when I used to go to the nightclubs in LA and be in awe because I met Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall would be there and Robert Townsend would just be hanging out. All these comedians. And I wrote this joke a long time ago, and it's the punchline. The setup. I think the setup is a little different, but the punchline is the same thing as a joke that Earthquake does. Right. So I just want to say, people can think the same way, and it's a military joke. It's a military joke. And Earthquake was in the Air Force. I was in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of come on, this is, and he did this joke. I would have my foot on the stage. He did this joke, and I was watching him one night at the Comedy Union. And I almost fell out my damn seat. I was like, this dude did my fucking joke that I've been doing for years. Just damn near verbatim. Same punch, everything. So all that joke stealing, but Cedric, he stole his joke. He stole that man. You can't do that.
I mean, I can. It seems like something that when that happens, you should talk it out. I could see a situation where because I know that there are comics who buy jokes from comedians who are having a rough go. If somebody's doing well,
yeah,
and they need some new material, they'll buy jokes from somebody who's doing open mics and whatever to give them a scratch or whatever, and that's fine. But if one of these new guys, writes a joke or writes down somebody else's joke and then sells it to somebody else and they haven't heard the bit, there's times when that can happen.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a joke I did once, and this lady is where I actually took her comedy course, and I was getting ready to tell this joke, and she stopped me. No, that's such and such joke. Some black female comic, that was a friend, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't even know her, never heard of her, and I'm formulating this. She's like, no, you can't do that joke. And I didn't. I've never done it.
Yeah.
Just because I know it's somebody out there doing that joke. So I don't know. That's why, I do political humor. It's really hard. And I have some life experience that kind of ties everything together. So it'd be really difficult for somebody to steal my material on purpose. So that's something I really don't even worry about.
Okay, then. So running for office. So you're a Marines guy, and Mike Garcia, he's a Navy guy, right? He was Navy. He was
yeah. He used weapons of mass destruction to drop bombs on women and children.
Well, and he's voted pretty much down the line with the Republican majority, right? He voted against the infrastructure bill. He voted against the.
I got a whole list of shit that he voted against. That
he voted in favor with the Republican. How crazy is this Republican?
He voted with Trump like 99% of the time. He voted MAGA, and for him not to vote to ratify a free and fair election, which is what we have in America, peaceful transfer of power, that's what we do in America. For him not to ratify that vote makes him an accomplice. He tried to overthrow the government also. What did Trump say? He told him, he's trying to tell Pence, don't worry about it. Just slow everything down. Congress will take care of the rest. That was Mike Garcia. Mike Garcia. So to me, he's ineligible. He should be under investigation. He's ineligible to represent these people here. And there's some really good people here, just trying to struggle. A lot of them, a lot of people in the industry, in the Hollywood movie industry and all of that stuff down below. The people where we are, we're more aerospace-based, economy. Plus, we have a state prison, which has a lot of good jobs. And I used to work there, I know. Insurance benefits, good mortgage-paying jobs where you can might be able to eke out a mortgage, maybe something like 1,500 square foot, 3+2 East Palmdale. You never know.
Well, so how do you feel about the district now? Because it did go red, and you got an Air Force base nearby. Is it probably
Edwards Air Force Base?
Yeah.
Where the space shuttle used to land.
Yeah. So do you? I mean, but do you think there's a chance of flipping the district blue?
Oh, it's no way. If this corporate Democrat would get out the way, there's no way Mike Garcia can beat me. I'm telling you, this guy knew something about my illegal arrest, and everybody now knows that my arrest was illegal. I'm meeting with someone shortly on the 30th, and I got a feeling everything is going to be exposed. I can just say that. But when everyone finds out what happened to me about my arrest and the fact that Mike Garcia was present, along with Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who they both endorsed each other, who campaigned together, and then for me to get arrested, it really needs to be investigated. Put it like that.
Well, LB.
Oh, this will be the most interesting 27. This will be the most interesting House race in the country. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to convince this corporate Democrat to just drop out of the race. I think if he could get out of the race, which would put more focus on this race, because I'm getting ready to drop some lawsuits, and it's going to be some very interesting people named in these lawsuits.
Well, that'll be big news before the primary.
Oh, trust me. Trust me. This is as a comedian, this shit is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
With this whole, I consider myself a patriot, a black satanic patriot that practices freedom of religion, and used to drive around town in a state-issued license plate that said "For Satan" before he was arrested. Oh, this is going to be a trust me.
Well, Los Angeles area is no stranger to a little circus in their elections.
Yeah, but I just, yeah. Katie Hill had this seat for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard about the escapades of Katie Hill, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but I guess her ex-husband posted some stuff, I don't know, sexually explicit pictures or photos. I know it was something about a goat in one of the photos. And then she was some kind of relationship with her staff member. I don't know, some intern.
Oh, so that's how. So Garcia got in just because of a whole lot of drama on the other side.
He basically got in on a fluke.
Okay.
But then he barely, in that special election, he barely beat Christy Smith by 333 votes.
So there is a good chance to flip this one back.
There is.
Because it's only going to take one. You get one more Democrat in the House, and all of a sudden, a whole lot of stuff can get done because there won't be that bottleneck between the House and the Senate.
That's what I'm saying. We need this seat. And if George Whiteside would just kindly, politely drop out the race, and we get to the bottom of my arrest, you're going to find that one of the candidates should be going to jail instead of Congress. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So that primary is on March 5th. If you're in the 27th district, go vote for Steve.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I gotta tell you this before it leaves my mind. The best thing a candidate could ever do, and I shouldn't even be saying this until the election is over. The best thing a candidate could ever do is drive Uber and Lyft. That's how I'm raising my money. I'm driving Uber and Lyft. I'm driving in my district and LA, because in LA you meet so many interesting people, especially coming back and forth from the airport.
Sure.
But I try to stay in my district and talk to voters. And I'm almost like,
yeah, you're doing the ground.
100 for 100.
You're not just taking Pelosi's endorsement and having her write a check, right?
Right. No, I can't be bought, man. That's the thing. I'm trying to get into office without taking any money from anybody. You know what happens then, right? The people keep the power.
Yeah.
And the power has always been with the people. So if you can get into office without selling your soul to these corporate bitches and hoes, you could do something for the people. And I know what needs to be done. For one, we need affordable housing. I mean, I talk to people, Uber and Lyft, and they're ranting and raving, and I'm screaming at them like, God damn it, you got to get into a house right now, property. You got to get in the game. You can't be a renter all your life.
Yeah, well, that's a thing everywhere, man. And with the way rents keep going up, it's nuts, man. Like right. I got this place 2020. Rents then were like $1,200. Now they're up to like $2,500. It's nuts what's going on with rents out here too.
I got a feeling the pandemic is a lot of the reason for that. Another reason for that are a lot of foreign investors and people looking to create an income stream. Mm-hmm. Another reason for that is those people who purchase homes and they have a 2-3% interest rate. They're not selling those homes. They'd be stupid to, because they'd have to move into a lot less house. So
even if they do move, like if you can rent a place and your mortgage is under $1,000 and you can rent it for $3,000, you know, I mean,
yeah, right. It's like, okay,
be out of your mind to just sell it, yeah.
Right, and they're trying to mediate some of this stuff by building accessory dwelling units, ADUs, in the back of existing properties where you can, like, it's almost like subdividing a parcel where you can sell it as a condominium if you want to, but they're doing some creepy stuff. And
I think they don't know what they're doing. Shed, right?
Yeah. Oh, I live in a tough shed. Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on. But I'm a real estate appraiser, man. You need somebody like me in office right now.
Yeah.
And it's been a whole lot of shit going on where I live at in North LA County with them moving people out of the inner cities. out to, but we need to talk about it because East Lancaster has 23% African Americans right now. We don't even make that. That's not, the demographics don't reflect that in the county-wide. I think we're probably somewhere around 12%. But somebody needs to investigate this whole district, this whole area, because it's been under the regime of an evil force, which consists of law enforcement, the churches, and politicians. They've been running this whole area like a fucking crime family. And maybe because I got arrested, I can shine a whole lot of light on this community and maybe do something for the people. But I got a feeling, I think we need Satan to save the country right now. Because we're about to lose our democracy. We're getting ready for some very turbulent times coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a cycle.
Oh, horrible. But you know what? I think our saving solution is that I think people are going to become more politically conscious in the next few months. That's going to bring out those low propensity voters. Because I do talk to a lot of people driving Uber and Lyft. People tell me when I leave, they tell me, like, you know, I do need to be more involved. I do need to start thinking about that more. And that's motivating to me, because now I know I've raised someone's level of consciousness. And, you know, we need everybody to save this democracy this trip. I'm sad to say. And you saw the Iowa results.
Well, I think people are making a bit more hay out of the Iowa results than it merited, because there wasn't a Democratic caucus in Iowa, because they're starting with South Carolina this time. Right. So it was all Republican. There was no Democratic presence there at all. It wasn't part of it. So to say that Trump walked away with it, I don't know if it really matters as much.
You know, see, I look at it different from you. The way I look at it, this is a big problem. This is the microcosm.
Oh, it's a problem.
The base. You brought out the worst of the worst, the deplorable of the deplorables. You brought out the base of the base. You brought those racists as, you know, we are Christian European, this is our country. You brought out and Trump won by 30. So I can't wait to see, as we go around the nation, exactly who the fuck we are. Who are we? That's what we're not asking ourselves. Are we Iowa or are we California? Who are we? This is a defining moment in the nation.
It's going to be an interesting election for sure.
Yeah, this shit is going to be beautiful. But as a comedian, this shit is hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's always good fodder for comedy.
But as a patriot, this is the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. You know, I was born in 1961. You know, I caught the end of the whole boomer craze thing. So I was kind of born into the whole civil rights movement. You know, I'm a news junkie. The first thing I ever even remember seeing on TV as I was running out to play was Martin Luther King. My mother was sitting there watching Martin Luther King's funeral on TV. And it took me a while, but I had to realize, like, why is that guy in a casket? And why is everyone so sad? And why is my mother crying? And I realized later, oh, that was the funeral. That was the funeral of Martin Luther King. So that made me like always want to watch the news and kind of stay involved and see what was happening. So turned me into a news junkie, basically. I mean, I still remember watching the Watergate hearings like it was, you know, a football game. Just really enjoyed it, really found it interesting. So That probably ruined my life watching all these. But yeah, somebody's got to do it. So hey, somebody got to fight these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so Steve Hill, 27th Congressional District.
27th Congressional.
Yeah,
We're
primary.
gonna start calling it the mighty 27th Congressional.
Mighty 27th.
It's gonna get stronger.
There you go. Primary is March 5th. When did you say your comedy gig was?
Oh, I will be at the Comedy Store, the D's Nuts Comedy Show on February 16th. That's my next comedic appearance. I'll probably hit a couple of open mics before that, but all of my other ones, they're trying to exclude me from these other engagements that the establishment Democrat goes to. I'm not invited, so I kind of just like have to show up and like dive in to make my presence felt. But yeah, it's interesting the fight within the party, you know, to not give someone like me a voice to me is like.
Well, now one thing I will add is it's an open primary, right? So it's the top two.
It's they call it a jungle primary. It's the top two vote getters.
Right. So it could be you and the establishment Democrat, and the incumbent Republican could just be gone.
And in that case, his ass is at the mercy of Satan because I am fucking him up. But trust me, I would win. And you know, if I could get him to drop out, I'll definitely beat Mike Garcia because he's a damn traitor. He's a Trump supporter, and we call him Traitor Mike in these parts.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, ain't no shame in our game. We're truthful. We run an honest campaign.
There you go. All right, Steve. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, pleasure. Thank you for having me on. And look forward to our next conversation. Should probably be after the primary. I'll come back on again after my victory.
All right, then. Thanks, Steve.
All right.